Okay, people, thanks to Paul Smith, we got to check out a new film, The Machine Family. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? It is directed by Andy Vallentine, written by Danny Vallentine. Um, it is then produced by um, Andy Vallentine, Carmen, Carmen Hutchinson, Stuart Heinlein, Sidbrath Ganji, Michael Diaz, and Scott Boland. It's executive produced by Zach Braff and co-produced by Chelsea Fenton and Dan Jansen. Kotomi, aka Lauren Koljak, handled the music. Julia Swain was on cinematography, while Jonathan Melline edits the piece. Scott Boland also took care of casting. Marcel Andre was on art direction. Costume design is Brittany Kay. Hair and makeup is Eda Sandoval, Monique Paradis, and Angel Garcia. Our cast. Well, Thomas is played by Nico Tortorella. His husband, Oscar, is played by Juan Pablo Di Pace. Lee is played by Emily Hampshire, right? Who we spoke to for End of Sex. She was also in Appendage, two very good films. Lee is married to where I am not seeing Lee's wife here. I think it might be Chloe Wyatt Taylor, who plays Sonia. There is also who else? Where is? Man, I hate the way this is all laid out. Fuck it, we're just gonna do the names. Jamie, played by Jake Coy, right? Annie, played by Heather Matarazzo. Ted, played by Carl Clemons-Hopkins. There's Laura, played by Annie Funk. Sarah, played by Colleen Foy. Jake, played by Garrett Clayton. Paul, played by Jack Perry. Rachel, played by Annie Elizabeth Rosario. Cam, played by Roz JC Zepida. Riley, played by Oladisi Kovabel. Martin, played by Will Von Voigt. Victor, played by Anthony Lee Medina. Sam, Matthew Postlethwaite. Right, I think that's probably our main group of people. Diana, played by Alice Prime. Yeah, a younger version of Thomas, played by Jude Friedman. And Nurse Vera, played by Kalaya Zhu. Okie dokie. The gist of the film is, while Thomas and Oscar are very much in love, after their first foster child returns to his birth mother, they find that they have different ideas about what making a family actually means. Now, this is the feature directorial debut from Andy Vallentine, and it is based on his and Danny's experiences of being parents, right? I think they adopted a kid, something along those lines. It's not a complete, autobiography, but it is, it's got tinges of their life in it. Now, I thought this was a really nice film. right? I think it did a very good job of, I think, conveying relationships, right? And relationships, because they can be whatever, right? It doesn't really matter. Like, there's so many different forms of relationships, but how do they feel, right? What's the components of those? What forms of love make them up? And I think what I mean, you believed in all of these different dynamics, right? The connections with these people, the love that they had for each other. So I thought that was great, because you don't always buy it, you know what I mean? But you did. So that was really good. It's yeah, I thought the acting was very good, on the conveying of emotions and all of that kind of stuff. I thought that was really nice. I think you you do have a sense of where this is going. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to be shocked at some of the twists and turns of this story, but it's done well. It is done well. I think there were some curious moments. Like, I just think communication is a key thing, but it's like, I don't know, there wasn't that communication, but necessarily between Thomas and Oscar, because Oscar is an actor, right? And if, like, I think it's a different thing if you say, okay, I think I'm done, right? But if you're like, I'm still looking to do this thing, then you have to understand that, if someone gets a role and they have to move somewhere, or they're out, what I mean, auditioning and traveling, there's constraints that come with that, right? There is that. Another thing I thought was interesting was because they foster Arthur, right? Now, fostering means you have a kid for a period of time. It's not like you have this kid for life now. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was curious of how it affected them, because I and not to say, right, you're still not gonna feel something after fostering, right? Because I'm sure you do, but you do know it's coming, right? So you can ready yourself to an extent of, okay, I realize that we don't get to keep this kid at some point, you know what I mean? But the way it's shown to us is like that it was a shock that they had to give this kid up. Another thing would be interesting to know, why foster and not adopt, right? What would those choices, you know what I mean? Because I think that would help you get the impact of it, right? Why they went into this, and then it speaks to then what happened next. So I thought that would have been an interesting thing to explore a little bit, right? Just that kind of thing, you know. I mean, if you like, everyone's really got money, you know what I mean? So even though, like, Lee, she had a miscarriage, but then she's looking to have another kid, to go through the IVF and all of this kind of thing. It's like, but they've got money, they can afford it, which then it changes the way you feel about these things, right? Because I think it's one thing when certain things hit someone, and it's just like, but how do we? But when these people got money, you're like, well, yeah, they can do that thing, right? So there is all of this stuff, but I think the story it's still impactful, right? They do touch on different things, right? It's interesting. Like, one of them, it was Thomas, I believe. Yeah, Thomas was just like, gay relationships are provocative. I thought that was an interesting, like Oscar was just like, I don't think it needs to be, right? I don't think everyone is, but Thomas was very much, they are, like it's built in, which I thought was an interesting viewpoint because it is kind of like, why? You know what I mean? Why? Why? You know what I mean? It's like going, all gay people are flamboyant, right? And camp. And you'd be like, but they're not, right? Don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you get that. And there's some other interesting things in the film about art, night photography, just relationships in general, which was, interesting. It's nice, right? Little thought-provoking moments. You feel me, people? So yeah, no, I thought this was a nice film. It kind of reminded me of there's a film, I think it's a Netflix film, right? It's got Adam Sandler, um, Ben Stiller, the man, if I trying to remember what this friggin' it's like uh what's it called? The Metsovich stories? The Metrovich stories? Oh man, my pronunciation is horrible. It's something like that. The Metro, which I thought, you know, this did have those kind of similarities of, right? That's a family and all the dynamics around that. So it's different in its makeup, in its foundation, but sentimentally, the emotions you feel watching it, I thought there's some relationship there. So I think if you like that, you might like this. You know, I thought it was definitely because there was that film. Was it at the start of this year? Good Grief, right? I think that's what it was called. Now, again, there are some similarities, but I thought the matcher, boy, my pronunciation is frigging terrible. The Mattachine Family is a stronger film. I think it's a stronger film with more rounded characters, right? More rounded characters, more depth to it. But yeah, again, if you liked Good Grief, you will most definitely like the Mattachine Family. It is out. I think it's out in the US already, but it's hitting the UK this Friday, right? I believe. Yeah, definitely Friday. Maybe it came out on Thursday. I think it's Friday though, people. Yes. But yeah, definitely worth a look. Actually, I'm just like, there's no point even guessing because I've got the information right in front of me, essentially. Okay. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, people. All right. It is out on the 24th. Okay. It was out on the 24th, I should say. On Prime, Apple, Google, all of this. Also, Pacadillo's their own platform. You can rent it there. Now, it is coming to Italy and Japan in July. So, yeah, everyone can check it out. And it is worth a watch. It is worth a watch. So, people, the Mattachine Family. Some very nice moments. It's a story that I think is, everyone can understand. I was expecting the end, right? I was expect as soon as like, yeah, I was like, obviously that's happening. But yeah, people, that's my views, right? Again, if you like the Meshevich stories, or good grief, then I think that Mattachine Family will work for you.